Danbury's Promise for Children partnership champions the critical need for early learning. Early learning closes the achievement gap and opens a world of opportunity.
If a child has the kind of early care and education they need, quality early care and education, they will arrive at the kindergarten door with the skills and the tools they need to be successful in school. And that will make a huge difference as that child progresses through the educational system, goes on to higher education, and prepares for future employment.
This is the most critical period, I think, in the history of the United States to ensure that we have kids that are, aside from being academically successful, are ready to participate in democracy, to be good citizens, to be good people. We've got a big job in front of us, and we've got to work together, all on the same page, to make that happen.
This would be an attractive place for corporations to locate new business because we have a highly literate and skilled workforce coming out of esteemed public schools. We would stand back where we used to stand in comparison with other states, would be number one.
That's why we have to have as our goal making pre-kindergarten learning experiences, school readiness, universal access, regardless of a parent's ability to pay.
I think it's absolutely attainable. I think it's our only answer to help children succeed in life.
Danbury's Promise for Children partnership is engaging leaders in government, business, healthcare, social services, education, and with parents to ensure that every child has the opportunity for quality early learning. Early learning reduces crime rates, teen pregnancy, welfare, job training costs. Early learning increases success in school, graduation rates, workforce readiness, job productivity. Early learning is key to every child's healthy and promising future. All of our futures. Help us open a world of opportunity.
We have a challenge in this country with education, and we're not going to be able to compete globally if our children aren't ready to learn in school. And a lot of that has to do with sort of foundational life skills. I mean, children need to know how to behave in a classroom. They need to know how to hold a pencil. They need to know how to interact in a group setting. All of that is determined in early childhood. What happens between the ages of birth and 5 years old is really foundational for what's going to happen when that child gets to school.
It starts at home in order for the child to be ready for school, because the parents are the first teachers. And we do encourage parents to read with their children, do activities with their children, visit a museum, go to the park, talk to their children, read to their children, and all of these things make a positive difference for them to be ready for school.
Every child in Connecticut should receive a quality early childhood experience in education. They should know their numbers, they should know their colors, they should have pre-literacy skills, if not literacy skills. They should know how to perform in a classroom setting. They should know what a teacher is. Those are all things that you have to begin teaching children really at age 3. No child should be 4 years old and be in a position to be entering kindergarten at 5, not having had that experience. Well, I think by working with groups like the Danbury Promise for Children partnership, we can reach this. I mean, you cannot spend a better educational dollar than spending it on a pre-kindergarten learning experience.
You want that child as best prepared as they can be in social, emotional, academically, and you start when they're young. You can't start it when they're 10, you can't start it when they're 15. It's too late then. They've already established the habits. They need to have this solid foundation in early childhood before they even come to school.
Most of our work is not the ABCs, it's not the 1, 2, 3s, it's getting kids to realize that they have control of their body, they have control of their mind, and if they can control that and focus, they're available for learning. This is what we do. We get kids available for learning, and I know there's a huge emphasis on the academics, and that's important to us. Science material so that they can explore it, socialize with other kids. They've gone from passive learners to active learners because I want to set kids up to succeed, but without that self-regulation, Without that feeling of feeling loved and self-esteem building, none of the other stuff happens. This is what we do to close the achievement gap.
Closing the achievement gap. It's in newspapers, on TV and radio. Awareness is growing. There's an imperative to construct a new initiative for educational equality and to restore global competitiveness.
The achievement gap is really the disparity between higher income children and those well educated and those children who are mostly living in poverty, ESL children, and those with a lot of at-risk factors who don't have the educational opportunities. And what we're finding is the gap between the children who do have great opportunities, they're soaring, their scores are going great, and those who don't have the opportunity are flatlining. Their scores are not doing well, they're not really being educated to their full potential. So that's the achievement gap.
Unfortunately, in the state of Connecticut, we have the highest achievement gap in the nation. What this says is that those low-income children are not going to have the same opportunities as the high-income children. So it's crucial to close that achievement gap because that puts everybody on a level playing field and it gives children the opportunity to succeed who may not have been able to succeed before.
It's just so critical that we try to break this cycle and we try to get folks into our system quicker, the better off we can get people in terms of their education, in terms of job training, job skills. This happens way down. This is, people don't think there's a nexus, a connection between preschool education and between what you do in adulthood, and there absolutely is. So when you follow that person all the way through, and there's been cohorts of people that we followed in various studies over the last 50 years, when it comes time to get a job, we want to make sure that they have the right skills, the right learning that's going on, and that they're ready to work. Because we know that if they do that, they will become a taxpayer. They're not going to use as many services that we need. They're going to have healthy families that they can help support as they begin the same process. And that's how we break this cycle. We're trying to take these children, we're trying to light the fire for them, get them interested in school, get them ready for school, and then watch them blossom in terms of their academic success.
Partnering to afford more early learning and school readiness opportunities for all children will allow us to close Danbury's achievement gap and promise us a richer future. As community partners, we can do this.
If you're a parent and you think that your child may need services, don't hesitate. Follow your instinct, and when your child gets those services, oh my gosh, I'm going to cry. Your world will completely change because you will know that your child is where he or she needs to be.
What I think a lot of parents don't know is that you can actually be your child's first teacher too. So along with having fun and doing things, you can teach your child quite a lot about being social, about numbers, about letters, about information, just an everyday interaction. So I think that parents can go from a place of just having fun with their kids to actually knowing that they're teaching them something and helping them be a better student down the line.
In that partnership, we've got the United Way, we've got the hospital, we've got the school system, we've got Danbury Children First, Education Connection, the City of Danbury, everybody working together to help children to succeed in school.
As physicians, that expertise has to be shared. So many of us really do participate in community events, trying to actually share our knowledge, teaching those parents. When you approach it as a team approach, where every member in the community becomes involved, those kids are going to thrive.
Well, early learning and school preparedness, come to us with that experience, come to us ready to learn, come to us with that quest and that love for learning makes such a big difference. To me, it's a no-brainer. We invest in our youth, we invest in the human capital. We'll bring jobs back here, we'll be competitive, we'll do what's right, and we'll have a better United States.
Well, and interesting enough, I was one of those kids who wasn't ready for school. I was, I had a second grade teacher who told my folks I'd never amount to anything. And it took a good teacher to come along and change my life. Maybe if I had more time, back in those days, and maybe I had earlier education, I might have gotten off to a better start. But along the way, it takes good people to get involved.
Danbury's Promise for Children partnership is all about that. The great thing about this particular partnership is it's got everybody talking. So we've been siloed for years, where we've had different agencies that all have similar missions and are great people and sort of talked and socialized, but now we've really got real partnership, real sharing of the mission, sharing of information, and we think that's going to benefit us later on.
Well, I think by working with groups like the Danbury Promise for Children Partnership, we can reach this. I mean, just in our own state this year, we've added 1,000 additional pre-kindergarten learning experience slots in the state. 58 of those are actually going to Danbury, which will complement the efforts on the fundraising side and other efforts in Danbury to make sure that ultimately, on a universal basis, every child has this access. We should not allow children to come to kindergarten without that experience because their parents couldn't afford it. What we really have to do is build a system that makes sure that every child has that experience regardless of their parents' ability to pay for it. You cannot spend a better educational dollar than spending it on a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old.
Increasing public awareness of the critical importance of early learning and school readiness. Ensuring that all children, regardless of income, have the physical and behavioral health services they need. Reaching out to parents to promote safe, nurturing home environments that foster early learning. Giving all children affordable, quality, preschool experiences so Danbury's young children are prepared to succeed in the early grades. With your wisdom, vision, and leadership, we can do this. Danbury's Promise for Children Partnership and you, opening a world of opportunity for all children.